Something just happened in hip-hop. And the wildest part? Not a single word was said. No tweet, no interview, no diss track, no Instagram rant. And yet, somehow, Kendrick Lamar just took over the entire conversation again. Fans are shocked. Social media is going crazy. And people are divided over what this all really means. It started quietly. Too quietly. A moment that most people might have missed. But in today's rap game, silence can be louder than 100 bars. And Kendrick? He's mastered that art. Within hours, timelines were flooded, clips were being dissected, old lyrics were being revisited. People started connecting dots that may, or may not, even be there. Wait, did Kendrick just respond without responding? That's the question everyone is asking right now. Because in a culture where everybody is talking, shouting, tweeting, and then dropping nonstop, Kendrick did the opposite. He said nothing. And somehow, that nothing feels like everything. Some fans believe this was intentional. A calculated move. A chess play in a game where everyone else is playing checkers. Others think it's just coincidence, that the internet is reading too deep into things. But if you've been watching Kendrick long enough, you already know. Nothing he does is random. And now the tension is building. Because when an artist like Kendrick Lamar moves in silence, it usually means something bigger is coming. Or worse, something already happened, and we're just now catching up. The moment everything shifted, there were no tweets, no interviews, no sudden diss track flooding the internet. Just silence. And somehow, that silence spoke louder than anything else in hip-hop right now. Fans woke up scrolling through their feeds, expecting the usual chaos, the usual noise. But instead, they found something different, something unsettling. The name Kendrick Lamar started trending again, without a single new song dropping. No announcement, no warning, just pure presence. And instantly, social media started going crazy. People were confused at first, then curious, then obsessed. What did Kendrick do this time? One fan posted. Another replied, "That's the thing. He didn't do anything." But that's exactly what made it feel bigger than ever. Because if there's one thing fans know about Kendrick, it's that every move, especially the quiet ones, means something. Nothing he does ever feels random. And right now, fans are shocked because whatever is happening, it feels intentional. It all started when a clip began circulating online. No context, no explanation. Just a short, grainy video of Kendrick walking through what looked like a private event. No performance, no speech. Just him moving through the crowd, calm, focused, almost like he knew the world was watching, even if no one else in that room realized it yet. Within hours, that clip was everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, X, reposted thousands of times with captions like, "He's planning something," and "This ain't normal." Fans immediately began dissecting every frame. The way he walked, the people around him, even what he was wearing. Some people think it was just a random appearance, but others believe it was much deeper. Because in the past, Kendrick has built entire moments out of subtle hints. And this felt like the beginning of something. Then things got even more interesting. Around the same time, several major hip-hop pages started posting cryptic messages. Nothing directly mentioning Kendrick, but the timing had fans connecting dots anyway. Phrases like, "the calm before the storm," and "real ones move in silence" started popping up everywhere. And while nothing is confirmed, social media is saying this might not be a coincidence. Some fans believe this is all part of a rollout, a quiet takeover happening right in front of everyone. And then came the reactions. Other artists started posting too, not directly addressing anything, but the energy shifted. Subtle tweets, mysterious captions. One artist posted, "It's getting spooky out here," followed by a thinking emoji. Another wrote, "Some of y'all ain't ready for what's next." Fans immediately started speculating. Were they talking about Kendrick? Was something about to drop? Or was this all just the internet doing what it does best, turning silence into a storm? But what really caught people off guard was how quickly emotions ran high. Within 24 hours, the entire hip-hop community felt different. Conversations changed. The usual debates were replaced with one question: what is Kendrick doing? And the craziest part, no one had a real answer. Some people think this is a strategic move, that Kendrick is reminding everyone of his presence without saying a word. Others believe there's tension behind the scenes, something bigger brewing that hasn't come to light yet. And of course, there are fans who think this might be the start of a new era, a new project, a new message, but nothing is confirmed. Still, one thing is clear: Kendrick didn't need to drop music to take over the conversation. He didn't need a headline or a controversy. Just a moment, just a glimpse. And somehow that was enough to shift the entire culture. Now the question isn't if something is happening, it's what happens next. What made the situation even more intense was how fast everything started spiraling after that first clip. Within a day, the conversation wasn't just about a random appearance anymore. It turned into a full-blown investigation. Fans weren't just watching, they were decoding. Every second of that video became evidence, and the deeper people looked, the stranger it all started to feel. Some fans pointed out that Kendrick wasn't alone in that clip. A few familiar faces appeared briefly in the background, figures tied to the industry in ways that raised eyebrows. Nothing concrete, nothing confirmed, but enough to get people talking. "Why are they all in the same room?" one fan questioned. Another wrote, "This isn't random. This feels planned." And just like that, the theories started stacking up. Then came the timestamps. People noticed the video didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was posted at a very specific time. Late night. Almost like it was meant to slip into the algorithm quietly. But instead, it exploded. Some people think that timing was intentional, that it was meant to catch a certain audience. Others believe it was just coincidence. But again, with someone like Kendrick Lamar, fans don't believe in coincidences that easily. At the same time, music pages and influencers began fueling the mystery even more. Bigger accounts started reposting the clip with captions that sounded almost coded. "He's outside again. Y'all forgot who really controls this. Watch closely." These weren't normal reactions, and fans noticed. Social media is saying that some of these pages might know more than they're letting on, but nothing is confirmed. Then things took another turn. A rumor started circulating that a major label meeting had happened earlier that week. No official reports, no verified sources, just whispers online. But according to some fans, that same location in the viral clip looked similar to where that meeting supposedly took place. Again, unconfirmed. But it added fuel to an already growing fire. People started asking, was Kendrick making a statement just by being there? And meanwhile, other artists began moving differently. There was a noticeable shift. Some went quiet. Others became unusually active. One rapper posted a series of cryptic messages back to back, deleting them minutes later. Another went live but refused to answer any questions about Kendrick, just smiling and saying, "Y'all gonna see soon enough." That one moment alone had fans going crazy. "What does he know?" flooded the comments. And then came the comparisons. Fans started looking back at Kendrick's past moves, the way he rolled out previous projects, the subtle hints, the hidden meanings, the silence before major announcements. People are divided. Some think this is the exact same pattern repeating itself, while others believe this feels different, darker. more unpredictable. One fan wrote, "Last time he moved like this, the whole industry shifted." Another replied, "Nah, this feels bigger." And that's where the tension really started building. Because it wasn't just about Kendrick anymore. It became about what his presence does to everyone else. Even without dropping music, his name alone began dominating conversations again. Trending charts, discussion threads, reaction videos. It felt like the entire culture had paused, waiting for something to happen. And the craziest part? Nobody knew what they were waiting for. Then a new layer of speculation emerged. Some people think this isn't about music at all, that it could be something behind the scenes, business moves, partnerships, or even conflicts that haven't gone public yet. Others believe this could be the early stages of something creative, something artistic that's being built in silence. But again, nothing is confirmed. Still, the energy kept building. The clip passed millions of views. Edits started appearing with dramatic music, slowed down footage, zoom-ins on Kendrick's expressions. Fans were treating it like a trailer for something bigger. "This feels like the intro to a movie," someone commented. And honestly, that's exactly how it felt. But what really pushed things into another level was the silence from Kendrick himself. No response, no clarification, not even a subtle hint. And somehow, that silence made everything louder. Because now, every move, every post, every rumor, every reaction felt connected to something we couldn't fully see yet. And as the noise kept growing, one question started taking over everything else. Is Kendrick about to change the game again? Or has he already done it without anyone realizing? By now, the tension wasn't just building, it was boiling over. What started as a mysterious clip had turned into a full-blown moment in hip-hop culture. Every platform, every comment section, every live stream felt like it was orbiting around one name: Kendrick Lamar. And still, not a single word from him. That silence was no longer just intriguing, it was powerful, almost unsettling. Fans were no longer just speculating. They were choosing sides. Some believed this was genius-level strategy, a calculated reminder that Kendrick doesn't need to compete in the same way as everyone else. "He's controlling the narrative without even speaking," one fan posted. "This is what real influence looks like." Others weren't so convinced. They felt like the internet might be overreacting, turning a simple moment into something bigger than it actually is. "Y'all reading too deep into this," another user wrote. "It's just a video." But even those skeptics couldn't ignore how big the conversation had become. Then came a moment that pushed everything even further. A second clip surfaced. This time, it wasn't just Kendrick walking through a crowd. It showed him briefly stopping, exchanging a few words with someone off camera. The audio was unclear, almost drowned out by background noise. But that didn't stop people from trying to decode it. Within hours, slowed-down versions flooded the internet. Subtitles appeared, claiming to translate what he said. Some people think he mentioned something about timing. Others believe he said, "They're not ready." But nothing is confirmed, and the audio itself remains too unclear to verify anything. Still, that didn't stop the theories. Social media is saying that this second clip might be the biggest clue yet. Fans started connecting it to the earlier cryptic posts, the rumored meetings, and the sudden shift in artist behavior. "He's sending signals," one comment read. "This is bigger than music." And whether that's true or not, the belief alone was enough to keep the fire burning. At the same time, emotions ran high across the industry. Some artists began addressing the situation more directly, but still carefully. One rapper posted, "I respect the quiet ones the most," which fans immediately linked to Kendrick. Another tweeted, "Pressure creates diamonds," or exposes cracks. And that single line sent people into a frenzy. Who was that aimed at? Was it admiration or a warning? People are divided. Some see these reactions as signs of respect. Artists acknowledging Kendrick's influence. Others believe there's tension underneath it all. That maybe, just maybe, not everyone is comfortable with the way his presence alone can shift the spotlight so quickly. Again, nothing is confirmed, but the energy feels different. Then things took a more emotional turn. Longtime fans started reflecting on Kendrick's journey, his past messages, his patterns, his ability to step back and then return at exactly the right moment. "He always moves when the culture needs it," one fan wrote. Another said, "This feels like he's watching everything before making his move." And that idea, that Kendrick might be observing, calculating, waiting, added another layer of intensity to the situation. Because if that's true, then this silence isn't empty. It's preparation. Meanwhile, content creators and influencers began adding their own takes, breaking down every possible angle. Some claimed this could lead to a surprise drop. Others suggested it might be connected to something bigger. Maybe a visual project, maybe a collaboration no one saw coming. A few even speculated about possible industry tensions, though there's no solid evidence to support those claims. But one thing was undeniable. The culture felt different. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about presence, influence, power without noise. And Kendrick, without saying a word, had placed himself right at the center of it all again. Even people who weren't fans before started paying attention. That's when you know something real is happening. And yet, the biggest question still remained unanswered. What is the end goal? Oh, because moments like this don't just happen randomly, especially not with someone like Kendrick. There's always a reason, a message, a purpose behind the silence. Fans can feel it. Artists can feel it. The entire industry can feel it. Something is coming. Or maybe something has already started. And the wildest part? We might already be in the middle of it, without even realizing. At this point, the energy surrounding everything had reached a level that felt almost impossible to ignore. What began as a quiet moment had turned into something that felt like a full cultural shift. The silence from Kendrick Lamar wasn't just being noticed anymore, it was being felt. Every hour that passed without a statement only made things more intense. Fans weren't just watching closely now, they were waiting. And then, something unexpected happened. A major streaming platform quietly updated one of Kendrick's older projects. No announcement, no promotion, just a subtle change that most casual listeners might not even notice. But of course, fans caught it almost instantly. A slight adjustment in track visuals, a reordered sequence. Nothing dramatic on the surface, but enough to raise serious questions. "Why now?" one fan asked. "Why touch this at all?" Social media is saying this could be a clue. Some people think it's part of a bigger rollout strategy, revisiting past work to set up something new. Others believe it might be symbolic, possibly tied to a message fans haven't fully understood yet. And then there are those who think it's just a routine update being blown out of proportion. But once again, nothing is confirmed. Still, the timing made it impossible to ignore, because it happened right when everything else was already building. At the same time, the second clip continued spreading, gaining even more traction than before. The blurry audio, the brief interaction, the almost cryptic body language, it all became the center of debate. Some fans became convinced that Kendrick was intentionally feeding just enough to keep people talking without revealing anything real. "He's controlling the pace," one comment read. "We're all just reacting." And honestly, that idea started to feel real. Because every reaction, every theory, every post, every argument, only made his presence stronger. Without dropping music, without giving interviews, without saying a single clear sentence to the public. That's when the conversation shifted again. Instead of asking what Kendrick was doing, people started asking what everyone else was going to do. Because now, the spotlight wasn't just on him. It was on the entire industry reacting to him. Some artists kept their distance, avoiding the conversation completely. Others leaned into it, posting messages that felt more direct than before. One artist went live and said, "Man, I love competition, but this right here, this different." That short statement alone had fans going crazy. Was it respect? Was it pressure? Or was it something else entirely? Emotions ran high. Fans began debating whether this moment exposed a deeper truth about the industry. That influence doesn't always come from constant output, but from timing, mystery, and control. Some people think Kendrick is proving that less is more. Others believe this moment is highlighting how quickly the culture can shift based on perception alone. People are divided, but everyone is paying attention. Then came what many are calling the biggest twist so far. A well-known producer, someone who has worked closely within the hip-hop world, posted a single sentence. "Y'all have no idea what's really going on." No explanation, no follow-up, and within minutes, the post went viral. Fans flooded the comments, demanding answers. But nothing came. No clarification, no confirmation, just more mystery. And that one post changed everything. Because now, the idea that something bigger is happening behind the scenes started to feel even more real. Not proven, but possible. Some fans believe there could be moves happening at a level the public doesn't usually see. Business decisions, or creative projects, even potential collaborations that haven't been revealed yet. Others think it's all just part of the build-up, intentional or not. But again, nothing is confirmed. Still, the tension kept rising, because every piece of the puzzle felt like it was leading somewhere, but no one could see the full picture yet. And through all of this, Kendrick remained exactly the same. Silent, calm, unbothered. That consistency only made the moment feel bigger. Like he wasn't reacting to the chaos. He was above it, watching it unfold exactly how it was meant to. And that's when a new question started to take over. What if this isn't leading to something? What if this is the moment? What if Kendrick has already taken over, just by reminding everyone who he is? That idea hit differently. Because if it's true, then this wasn't about a drop, or a diss, or a headline. It was about presence. And somehow, without saying a word, without making a direct move, he shifted the entire conversation again. Now the culture is locked in, waiting, watching, trying to figure out what comes next. But maybe that's exactly where he wants it. And now we're left here, in the middle of something that feels huge, but still unclear. No official announcement, no confirmed project, no direct explanation from Kendrick Lamar himself. Just moments, clues, reactions, and a level of attention that most artists can only dream of. And somehow, that was enough to shift the entire culture again. Fans are still shocked. Social media is still going crazy. People are divided between those who believe this is a carefully calculated move and those who think the internet might be reading too deep into it. Some people think something major is about to happen. Others believe Kendrick has already made his statement, and this silence is the message. But here's the real question. Is this the beginning of something bigger? Or did Kendrick just remind everyone, without saying a single word, that he never left? Nothing is confirmed. And maybe that's what makes this moment so powerful. The mystery, the tension, the feeling that something is happening, even if we can't fully explain it yet. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Was this all part of a bigger plan? Is Kendrick about to drop something major? Or are fans creating a moment out of silence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because if anything else happens in this story, you already know we're going to cover it first.